Hey guys, I wanted to give you a quick profile on the DI deck I did take to the Florida State Cardfight Universe tournament. I essentially went 3-3, but I was the only DI in the room, so I thought it was well enough to do a deck profile. Plus, I haven't done a profile for DIs in a while. So let's start off with the grade 3s. I run 4 Brufus, 4 NLK, and then 1 of Variance Drag Form. Now, I run the 1 Variance Drag Form because I max out my copies of everything else in the deck and I have 1 tech slot left. So I thought Drag Form was a good tech slot because of his Vanguard / Rearguard ability of Counter Blast 1, put a card from your damage zone to soul and get a grade 2 or greater from your soul, add it to hand, and then put the top card of your deck to the damage zone face down. So he basically helps you like get your pieces, a grade 3 that you need, a grade 2 that you need. Like I said, he's really just there to add more consistency to the deck. And then 4 of NLK because he's essentially like one of the best finishers DIs have and one of the best VRs. There's no reason not to run him. And then 4 Brufus. Brufus is your consistency engine. You always want to ride him first just because he allows you to like add your key pieces to hand and deck thin your deck so you could actually check triggers as a DI player. I know it's insane. That's it for my grade 3s. On to the grade 2s. I run 4 Emblem Master, 4 Variance Hard Leg. This is the key finisher of the deck. And then for my last grade 2, I tried many different things, but this is the one that I'm currently liking right now, even though it might be subject to change. 4 of Werewolf Seeger. Now, I run the 4 Werewolf Seeger because of his Vanguard ability of Soul Charging 2. Most of the time, you don't need the Soul Charge, but the main reason why I run Werewolf Seeger and other cards that you will see later down in this deck profile in my grade 1 space is because I don't want essentially riding No Life King first to just lose me the game outright. So I'm running Werewolf Seeger to just try and help me get as much soul as possible if I don't get to ride Brufus first. So that's basically the reason why we're running him. And he's a 14k beater. Can't really beat that Vanguard or Rearguard. That's also really good for a rush down. This deck that can surprisingly do. And then Hard Leg, really good card. The easiest win condition like DIs can get off most of the time. You just need 3 different units in your soul and have 3 of each of them, and then for the rest of your turn your opponent has to drop 3 cards for each of your attacks, which is awesome. It's mainly like you're either winning that turn or taking most of their cards from hand, if not all of them. So he's really good. Run him at 4 because he's your finisher and you want to see him. And then I run 4 Emblem Master. He's your other consistently card in turn with Brufus that you want to use together. Generally, you want to ride Brufus, search whatever you want from Soul, and then call an Emblem Master to get the rest of your Brufus from your deck to your Soul, so Brufus's crit ability is online and you can pressure your opponent. So that's why you run at 4. Also, his second ability is if there's 7 or more cards in Soul, he gets permanently plus 5k power and plus 5k shield. So he's really good with Protect 2 if you're facing against an Excel deck that you can go Protect 2. But he's just generally good to have the extra shield in general. So that's my grade 2 lineup. And on to my grade 1 lineup. I tried many different things, but I went back to 4 Yellow Bolt. Now, I went back to 4 Yellow Bolt for the same reason that I went to Werewolf Seeger. I don't want riding NLK first to be essentially a dead ride because of the Yellow Bolt's abilities of when you ride on top of it, Soul Charge 2, if you Soul Charge a trigger, draw a card, and his second ability, when it attacks a grade 2 or greater unit, you get to Soul Charge 1. So basically, if I ride NLK first, it's a very unideal situation, but you're essentially trying to use your pieces to get to 13 soul as quickly as possible, just so like you mitigate NLK not being such a dead ride. But generally you want to ride Brufus first, like I said. Good, run him at 4. And then I run 4 Variants Killer Tail. You run Killer Tail at 4 because she's your counter charge engine and she helps get the pieces you need into soul from damage zone and from drop zone. So she's really good. And then for my last one, this, you can essentially run whatever you want, but for me personally, Dorian will always be a staple in DIs just because of the power gain is insane. Like, you can soul charge at least 4 to 5 times in a turn, and she's just going to be like a big beater, if not a big booster. So, this is my grade 1 lineup. On to my zeros. New starter, he's better than Vermilion Gatekeeper, so you play him. And I run 8 crit, 4 draw, and 4 heal. Now, what I'm noticing in testing is that we are in a very aggressive format, so I might bump up to 6 draw. Deck out's never really an issue with the new version of DIs. You either win the game or you lose the game because the game is so fast, so you're not really worried about decking out. So that's why it's okay to run draw triggers and you're not really worried about decking out. That's it for my trigger lineup. And go into some basic combos of the deck, I guess. Like I said, DIs are now a very solid playable tier 2 deck. But if you don't ride Brufus first, you are kind of having a hard time. Generally, you want to ride Brufus first. Call this out. Do your main combo. So Brufus is going to be swinging with a crit, and then just call rear guards. But, yeah. That's essentially the deck. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Tell me what you think about it, if there's anything you would change. Yeah, I'm up to discussion about it. Honestly thinking about changing it, but we'll see. I will have some match videos up for you guys in the future, so see ya.